good day to you. This is Lisa Becerra, certified aromatherapist, and I am bringing you a video series, Safety with Common Sense. This video series is being offered during the year of 2021 in order to ensure the safe use of essential oils by people I know and care about. The inspiration to this video series came to me from a dear friend of mine who is literally surrounded with people using essential oils and who are very knowledgeable about their use. And yet somehow she got an adverse reaction to the use of these oils. And the news of that just really kind of hurt me because I just assumed other people were telling her and talking to her about these things. So I never had taken the time to do that. And it really shook me a little bit because as an essential oil user and as a certified aromatherapist, I kind of see it as my job to ensure people are using these beautiful gifts of nature in a safe manner. So the first few videos I'm doing are really going to lay a foundational groundwork to, I'm going to call them the spokes of essential oil safety. And that's going to be a talk about purity, potency, and dilution. So if you know me and you're familiar with the company that I get my essential oils from, the first two videos that I'm doing are probably going to be a refresher for you, which I hope is fine. And I'm doing this again because I can't, I don't want to take for granted that somebody knows something, or I don't want to assume that somebody knows something and they don't, and that I'm missing a real basic foundation for them. And then all the other videos that I do this year are going to stem from these three topics and branch out, and I'll be going over some very specific adverse reactions through the videos, and I'll be talking about specific oils and how to use them safely. So I hope this video series is enjoyable for all of you. I hope it helps you feel safer and more confident as you're using your essential oils, and most of all, I hope that it inspires you to reach out to me or someone else that you trust with essential oil knowledge to answer questions and to help you use your oils effectively and, most importantly, safely. Okay, so let's talk about purity. The essential oil industry is still largely unregulated. Okay, this is in America, it's unregulated here, which means there's no universally set standards for the chemical components that make up the essential oils. So no one is checking any company's bottles of lemon oil to ensure it has the adequate amount of limonene in it. Nobody is checking to see if the bergamot oil contains lemon or citrus, other citrus oils in it. Nobody is looking over the shoulder of any distiller or manufacturer of these oils to ensure the quality of the oil. Okay, so the first important safety measure you need when you are using essential oils is to ensure that you are using oils from a trusted company. So let me preface that by stating a trusted company is not necessarily a company with a big name, a company that manufactures multiple products that you're already using. A trusted company is a company that knows their supply chain and tests their product for consistent quality, batch after batch, and is able to provide you with some type of either certificate of analysis or gas chromatogram analysis of the product they've sold you. Okay? So I'm not telling you what companies to use. I'm not going to badmouth any companies. That is not my intention in any of these videos. I personally trust and use doTERRA essential oils because I know they they know their supply chain. They source their oils from over 40 different countries. They have personal business relationships with all of their growers, with all of their harvesters. They have personal business relationships with all of the distillation facilities that actually manufacture the oil. They have helped to do co-ops for these distillation facilities. They've actually built distillation facilities in areas such as Bulgaria, where they could not find a rose distillery that could produce a pure rose, right? Rose, Bulgarian rose, is one of the most beautiful, softest, sweetest, potent oils on the market. And they couldn't find a pure enough version of it consistently in order to provide it to anybody for retail. They just were able to do that in 2019 due to the opening of this new distillation facility, which they own. So they are entrenched in the purity of these products. And then they also send their oils to a third party to analyze them, and they have actually paid they are paying a third party that has a laboratory capability to identify every single component within the essential oil. And that's huge, because even Robert Tisser and Rodney Young, in their essential oil safety book, they only list the major chemical components. And so these are even components where it's a trace amount, and then they leave out, all of these other components within the oil, because it's too much for most people to even discern. And there's not very many laboratories that actually test and identify every component. So with doTERRA, every single oil they sell, single oil, so every bottle of a single pure oil, every bottle of lemon, lavender, marjoram, bergamot, clove, copaiba, has a gas chromatogram that you have access, that their customers have access to, per each lot number. So every time there's a new lot number, there's a new chromatogram that the customer is able to access, which is really, really nice. So regardless of where you get your essential oils from, ensure that they know the supply chain, exactly where they're coming from, and they directly purchase things from them, and that you're able to be provided with some type of analysis to prove the purity of the oil that you're purchasing, batch to batch, lot to lot. Very, very important. So I mentioned Robert Tisser and Rodney Young. They co-authored Essential Oil Safety. It is one of every certified aromatherapist go-to book. Okay, this was the very first book I was recommended to purchase through my aromatherapy program, and we reference it a lot. This is the second edition. Let me see, when did the first edition come out? The first edition came out in 2002, and the second edition came out in 2014. So I imagine sometime within this decade, they'll be coming out with a third edition, as they are continuing within their research of the essential oils used on the market, and the scientific data backing up claims, and for safety, toxicity, and things of that nature. So their book, again, first published in 2002, republished in 2014, states that adulteration of essential oils is a huge problem. Okay, so this isn't a new problem. This isn't a problem being manufactured by any one specific essential oil company. This is a global pandemic problem within the essential oil industry. And the reason for that is because individual components of the essential oils can either be extracted from other sources, or can be manufactured in a laboratory, so artificially manufactured, and then added to the oil. So, or added to create an oil, right? Um, these chemicals are called organic chemicals, organic chemistry, because they're carbon based, which means they are considered natural. So there's labeling leeway in things here, um, which is tricky, right? You really need to know the company you're getting your oils from knows where they're getting their oils and how those oils are being made. So this means that um, somewhere along the supply chain, someone can take a lemon oil and combine it with another oil and a couple of other chemical components and sell it to you as something completely different. Someone can take lavandin, which has a lot of linalool acetate in it, and add some linalool and maybe a couple of other things, and make it and sell it to you as lavender fine, lavandula gustifolia, which is a beautiful oil that does a lot of things. But lavandin is very different, has different chemical components as its major chemical components, the major constituents that acts on it, right, that acts within our body. And so it has a different effect on the body. So there's this huge market of essential oils, and there's this area of grayness where profiteers, brokers who purchase raw materials, send it to a distiller, have it, hold it, sell it to essential oil companies for retail or other consumable purposes, can adulterate or can otherwise dilute an oil in order to up their profits. This is something that is still going on. Some of you may say, oh, that just happened, back then, but surely everything's better now. But no, it's not. It's still going on. In 2019, 400 tons of bergamot oil were distilled, but 1,000 tons of bergamot oil was sold on the retail market. So that means somehow 600 tons of bergamot was fabricated. And the most likely thing is that some of the pure bergamot oil was diluted and adulterated in order to create this 1,000 tons of bergamot oil. So I'm not sure how much pure bergamot oil was actually available in 2019, but I am 100% confident that the bergamot oil I used in 2019 was pure, because I got it from a trusted source. They gave me an analysis, and I know everything that was in my bergamot oil from that year, and from this year, and from next year. I'll continue to know. So make sure that, again, whoever you're getting your oils from is trusted. They know their supply chain, and they're giving you some type of analysis of the oil that you've purchased. Not just a general analysis of the oil that they're manufacturing, but the specific lot number, the batch number that you have in your hands. Okay? Purity is important because when we use our essential oils, we want the constituents to be the same, to be very similar batch to batch, because these oils have a therapeutic use, right? That's why we're using them. We're using them to get this therapeutic, this beneficial effect. So if our oils aren't pure, we can't expect that therapeutic effect. And that might be one of the reasons why we're not seeing the effect that we're desiring. So each oil has multiple, if not hundreds, of different chemical constituents that make up the beautiful oil. They give it the flavor, the color, the scent. They give it its unique therapeutic benefits. So it's important, again, to have each of those identified and to know what you're using. We will talk about potency in the next video, and potency kind of goes hand in hand with purity along this topic, and they kind of merge together a little bit. So I hope you guys got a nice review of why it's important to use a pure oil. If you're smelling your oil and it smells alcohol-y, mineral oil-like, or like any other body oil or cooking oil, I would highly recommend you reach out. I'd be very, very happy to send you a sample of the oils that I use so you can compare them. A lot of times that's how we know that an oil is not pure, is we smell, we use, we touch, sometimes we taste a pure oil, and then we can identify, oh, this smells very different. Oh, this feels very runnier, it feels very thick, or it feels off, or the color is not the same. So these are ways that we can tell that our oil is pure, and I'm very, very happy to send you a sample if you are thinking that the oil you're using is not pure. The other way we can tell again is these oils have therapeutic qualities. If you're putting a lavender oil on to calm and soothe you, and it's got you agitated, you might have lavender and not lavender. So again, if you're having any type of doubts or hesitations that the oil you're using is a pure oil, reach out to me so that I can send you a sample and you can compare. Okay? If you have any other questions, or if you've had an adverse reaction, or know somebody that's had an essential oil safety concern, please reach out to me. It might be a topic for one of our videos this year. Have a blessed day and oil away. Bye now.